Well, I'm not going to complain. At least that was actually a nice, easy finish to my day after that bloody Wiesmann. You know what? I just hate being defeated. I hate being defeated, and this happened to me twice now. There's happened to me another job yesterday, which I wasn't able to record because politics, let's just say. So I'll probably talk about that job on another video, but at least this one is done, and it saves me having to come back on Friday. Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 8th of October. I'm a little bit out of breath because I'm on the second floor. Just lugged a whole lot of gear up to this flat. So all my stuff, well, some of my stuff is here. There's still more stuff that I'll be bringing up momentarily, periodically, etc., whatever you want to say. I'm absolutely shattered today because I'm not getting much sleep at the moment with Jessica. I don't know what's going on. She's not sleeping very well, and when she doesn't sleep, Daddy doesn't sleep. It's it's quite stressful at the moment, but yeah, I've just got to try and work through it. But anyway, it's enough of me sort of moaning or whatever. You guys want to see what I'm here to do today? I've done a bit of work here previously, but today we are going to be sealing this system because they seem to be getting issues with this pump burning out like quite often. It was changed a while ago, then I changed it earlier this year, I believe, and it's grinding and whatever again. I suspect that it's because it's dragging in air, because the way the cold feed and vent are, obviously it's only got a short height there, and that's teeing into here, and I have a feeling that the pump is dragging in air. Also, the pump is fitted on the return, which again, not a massive issue, but on a heat only, normally you expect to see them fitting on the flow. So I'm going to see, I was planning to move the pump onto the flow, but the flow pipe goes back there, which is probably why maybe they fitted it on the return. Unless I literally, no, I'm not going to have any space there because obviously we've got that much space there. So I might have to leave the pump on the return. But once the system's sealed, it shouldn't really matter whether it's on the flow or the return, as long as it's pumping in the correct direction, which in this case, it's pumping up, so back to the boiler. Because remember, on system boilers and combis, the pump is on the return. So it's pumping back into the boiler. So I can't see it being an issue, whether it's on the floor or the return, as long as it's going in the right direction. But I do think there's issues with air ingress. So that's why I'm going to be sealing the system today. It's only a small flat, so we've got a little 8-litre expansion vessel, got a new Grundfos Alpha 2 Gold pump to go on as well. First things first, let me lock off the F&E tank, the cold feed to it, start getting that drained out, and then we can start getting to work. First hurdle, still no joy. But luckily, I've just done a round robin and found, which one is it? This one turns it off. So that's the main stopcock. Now, when I push down on, this will come, let's get rid of this anyway. When I push down on the ball valve, no water, so that's good. So then what I'm going to probably do, I'm going to undo this here. I don't know if I should undo that or if I should keep that as it is and then come off there, because I am going to be using this as my filling loop, but I don't know if I want to risk disturbing this connection, because obviously this is going on to 10mm. I don't have any fittings that go from 10mm to this, so I might keep this stopcock in place and then just from here elbow down, so I can bring my filling loop somewhere down here. This is great, isn't it? condense pump right there. Got the blower kit in there. Just pumping all of that out into my condense pump, and that's going to be pumping it all out. I'm just going to keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't overflow, but it seems to be doing its job. Now that the F&E tank's drained out, it's only a small 8-litre vessel, so I'm going to probably put the vessel back in its place. I was thinking, should I put it here? But then I think the tenants have their storage stuff here, so I don't want to take up space here. Over up here is perfectly fine. I could put the vessel on that back wall there. I can put the PRV here. We've got an overflow pipe coming off of the F&E tank, which I'm going to use as my PRV discharge pipe. So I can just basically put a reducer onto there. I'll see if I've got a tundish in the van, then I can put it on a tundish. If not, I'll just put a reducer straight onto there, because that's just going down and straight out there. So it means I don't have to drill another hole for the PRV, and we do have cladding on the outside here, so yeah, it'll be a bit hairy to try and drill another hole. I'm going to probably use, I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to use as my vessel feed. I mean, I've brought a 3/4 inch to 15 and 3/4 inch to 22mm female line, so I could use the vent pipe here as my vessel pipe going straight into the vessel, which I might do. And then I can probably use, yeah, I reckon I'll probably use the 22mm straight into there as my feed for the vessel, and then the 15mm cold feed, where it comes down here, I'll probably just cut into there somewhere and bring that around here and put the filling loop somewhere here, so that we've got a 15mm filling loop going into there, and then we've got a 22mm going to the vessel. So let's go. Alright, just to show you the inside of this F&E tank. Yeah, load the sludge in there. Let's get rid of this. I'm going to just take it downstairs so we don't get any sludge in here, and then I can start doing some work up there. Right, time-lapsing this is a little bit tricky just because of where I'm working, so I might just have to do sort of little progress update videos. So as you can see, the vessel's mounted in the corner. I got it tucked as far in the corner as possible. Everything's still accessible on there. From the cold feed there, I've got another, I still need to press that, but I basically just bent a bit of copper. That's my cold feed coming down there. And I think I'm probably going to cut the cold side of the filling loop in up here. And then over here, I'm going to put the system side of the filling loop. But I need to put a T with a PRV, and then that can go straight onto that overflow pipe there. So that will be T, PRV, straight onto, not TPRV, obviously it's not unvented cylinder, but you know what I mean. And then the other end of the filling loop can go on there. And then up here, I'm going to, I don't know if I've got it, where did I put it? Yeah, this is what I've sort of made up. So end reducing T, going to stick an AAV on there, because obviously this is going to be our highest point. And then in here, street elbow coming out of there, go straight onto there, depending obviously what height I need it at. And then at least I'll have an AAV here. And I'm also going to cut these off and stick 2 AAVs rather than have the manual thumb vents. Got to change the pump valves, got to change the pump as well, but we are making some progress. So first things first, I just want to get the cold side done, get that in position, then at least I can turn the water back on, and then I can carry on doing what I need to do there. So in terms of sealing the system, that's all done. So see, vessel, stuck in AV up there, cold feed coming off of there, coming back down, cold feed filling loops there, system side is there. I've not pressurized it yet because I still need to replace the pump here as well. I need to cut these off and put AAVs there instead of the manual thumb vents. And then I've just got to change the synchro motor on the 3-port here, and then we can fill up and test and everything, make sure we are all good. pump fitted, a couple of AAVs fitted. I've just gone for all different AAVs. One of these, and one of those. So now everything's done in terms of the wet work. So now I can fill up the system. So let's start with, okay, that's open, and now let's start pressurizing. Doing that slowly to start with, just listening out for any hissing noises which could indicate any leaks. The pump seems to be okay. Alright, let's whack that up a bit. I think it's going to take a little while. Okay, I'm just going to let it all fill up and then come back to it and see where we're at. Well, we're still filling. It's just, I think the water pressure here is not great, but we're just up to a bar. I'm going to let that carry on filling. I'm going to have a little clear up. I'm going to change that synchro motor, and then I'm going to power it up, vent the system, set up the pump, and then we should be out of here. So I'll come back to this now probably once I've got everything set up and everything's running. There we have it. Everything is done. We're at 1.5 bar. New pump has all been set up as well. So that little mobile phone symbol on there, that means it's been set up on the app. You can see it's pumping out at 0.7 cubic meters, 23 watts of power, and 3 or 4 meter head, I think, anyway. But it's done, yeah. Air vents everywhere, air vents everywhere. We've got no airlocks, it's all running at the moment. Wow, that is nice and hot. Boiler is sitting at about 63 degrees. Synchro motor has been replaced. I've just got a couple of bits left to take back to the van, but luckily we had no airlocks. Everything came on straight away. Boiler fired up. I think a couple of the air vents had a little bit of a hiss. Other than that, job done. Now I've got to go to Essex Seating Spares. I've got to pick up the ignition lead for that Wiesmann. I'm going to go and sort that out. And then I've also got to go to Hampstead and sort out a Valent. I believe it's a Vessel and PRV. So I'll see you guys there. Right, we are in Hampstead and we have a Valent that's losing pressure. I think it's been losing pressure when they run the heating. I was here a little while ago, I changed the pressure sensor on this. Oh, okay, I don't remember seeing that, or that, or that. That's all dry at the moment. If they're losing pressure when running the heating, my suspicion is the PRV. I mean, I did recharge the expansion vessel when I changed the pressure sensor, but that was, I don't know if I'll put a note in here. Yeah, March. Oh. Oh. Is that a fresh leak? What is that? Is that the AAV? Has the AAV caused that much damage? Alright, let's check what's going on with the vessel. If that's split. That looks, yeah, that's split. Right. Vessel is leaking. Luckily I brought one with me, so let's do vessel, PRV. I don't know if that AAV has been leaking or not, but I think I'm gonna swap out anyway because it looks like I only done the pressure sensor last time, but yeah, let's just do the AAV as well, just to cover all bases. Right, let me go and get some bits from the van and we'll get this sorted out. Right, all done and purging away. new vessel, new AAV, new PRV, all good. Here's the old bits. And there's the old vessel. Right, from here, just got to fly to Enfield, change that ignition lead on that Wiesmann, which I don't think I'm going to record because it is literally just a case of swapping the lead over. You saw the diagnosis that I did last time. Unless there's something else that's wrong with it, I'll get the camera out. If not, I'm going to change the ignition lead, get that boiler to fire up and work, and then I'm going to make my way home. The Wiesmann, nah, didn't work. Changed the ignition cable and it's still doing the same thing. It did fire up initially and then turned it off, as in turned the demand off, put the demand back on, same thing. Trying, F4. I did try new electrodes last time when I was there. The ignition cable was the next thing on the list because obviously we weren't getting continuity or the resistance across it. So that was the next obvious thing to change. After that, with it being an intermittent fault, my suspicion is the PCB, which is very strange because I changed the PCB on that a few years ago. So if it is the PCB, I'd be very surprised, but it could be. But on this occasion, I've had to tell the customer to go down the fixed price repair route with Wiesmann, because at this stage, firstly, Wiesmann parts are not available on the shelf. You got to wait for them to come in. You got to specially order them, and then there's obviously the cost of the part and the labour. So I said to him, look, you're better off putting your money towards a fixed price repair. I don't know how Wiesmann engineers work, whether they carry loads of parts on the van like other manufacturers do, or if they have to come out, diagnose a fault and then come back, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But yeah, unfortunately I've had to leave that in their capable hands. I was going home and then I thought, you know what? I have a breakdown to do on Friday. It's Wednesday today, but I'm literally passing the road on my way home. So I've called the tenant, they're in. It's an ideal logic. It's losing pressure. He's having to top it up like very, very often. He said it's in this week. He said it's dropped pressure about 4 or 5 times. So my suspicion is PRV. Hopefully the vessel's not ruptured. I've got the PRVs on me. Fun fact: ideal PRVs are the same as Baxi PRVs. You just need to change the head. So let's go in. Let's find out if it is that. Hopefully that should be a nice, easy, quick in and out one. But now that I've said that, I've jinxed it, so it won't be. Yeah, it is the PRV. Let's go inside and check the vessel, make sure that's not split. Right, AAV's been pissing out, so we'll get that replaced. We'll replace the PRV. The vessel, luckily, it's not split, it's just flat as a pancake. So we'll get that all repressurized, get this done, and let's get it sorted. Right, I couldn't really film it because it was quite tight in there, but you can see the AAV, the PRV been replaced. That's the old one there, so it's in a bit of a sorry state. And like I said, Baxi PRV and the Baxi air vent and the Worcester air vent are all the same as the ideal ones. So that's all back up to pressure. Just give it a mind. Do you mind just running a hot tap for me? Yeah. Just want to make sure that everything's firing up. Got demand. It's fine. And there we go. Blue light means we are good to go. Well, I'm not going to complain. At least that was actually a nice, easy finish to my day after that bloody Wiesmann. You know what? I just hate being defeated. I hate being defeated, and this happened to me twice now. There's happened to me another job yesterday, which I wasn't able to record because politics, let's just say. So I'll probably talk about that job on another video, but at least this one is done. And it saves me having to come back on Friday, because Friday I've got a very busy day. I think I've got about 6 or 7 jobs booked in. So at least this would have been right out of the way for me as well. Because on Friday, all my jobs are like Basildon. I think I've got one in Brentwood. Other than that, everything's in Basildon. And this job here was in South Woodford. So it would have been complete opposite area. So at least I've got this one done. And then Friday, I can just focus. Because Thursdays, I've started taking off as like an admin day. Yeah, sorry. All right, it's gone dark. Bye-bye.